Welcome, everybody, to the Jive Sports Football Podcast. I am your host, Brandon. I'm here with my new co-host, Captain Pastrami. If you did not happen to watch the last episode, there's a whole lot of lore there, but Captain Pastrami will be joining me on this journey today in order to do our NFL Week 3 picks. First and foremost, we're going to circle back to the jersey giveaway that we are doing. We're running into the last 2 weeks here. It's very, very simple. If you want to happen to get a chance to win a Fanatics jersey of your choice, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube and screenshot it and then send it to jivesportstalk@gmail.com. As well, if you want an extra entry, free eats, share it onto your Facebook page, screenshot that, and also email that to jivesportstalk@gmail.com. We're entering the home stretch here, right? Captain Pastrami, I'm ready to get into it.
Well,
You have... Oh, go on.
real quickly,
Real quick. Just
my
real
favorite
quick.
phrase. We said October 1st, but I just want everyone to I want to look and be as fair as possible and be fully transparent. So, October 1st, I don't even know what day that is, but I was thinking whether one of us is available or not, if we're going to be recording that day. October 1st is a Wednesday. That usually kind of works for us.
Ooh.
Why don't we have it where we do the drawing at say 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. on the dot. That way the times line up and it can't be like, oh, you probably drew a bunch of them, but you waited till you drew your buddy and then you posted that one. But
I'm
if
here.
the
I love
time
it.
is if it's 7 a.m. and we show that this is what time it was recorded, then we couldn't. It has to be that drawing is the only drawing, right? That
Transparency.
that's got
I
to be a
love
way
it.
to kind of make people feel safer about this, even though they're not giving up anything besides like a couple seconds to click subscribe. This is completely fair. Um, we don't care who wins it. We're still going to be spending the money, so we don't have any uh,
There's no ulterior
indifference.
motive here.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
indifference towards like we know this person in real life. We don't know this guy. Preferably, I want somebody we don't know to win it,
Ideally,
so that
we
they
don't
can
like
tell
anybody in our real
well,
life.
so they can tell their friends, "Hey, these guys are legit. They actually did what they said they're gonna do," because we are.
We're all
And that's the
inclusive.
bottom line, because Captain Pastrami said so.
I feel like there's one too many syllables for that to be able to roll off the tongue. We are reviewing our NFL Week 2 picks, our Fab 5 or 6 if somebody happened to cheat. I'm a little under the weather. I'm running on fumes, but me at 20% is better than a lot of people at 100. So
You want me
let's
to
get right
you
into
want me
it.
to do your job today?
No, you could never. You could
That's
never. You
true.
don't have the resume for it. So, Captain Pastrami, how about you just lead us off? How did you and I do
You just told
in
me I
Week
couldn't.
2? What?
Okay, I'm fucking around. Oh yeah, so this is gonna blow your mind, people. But my co-host over here, the leader and organizer of this idiot, okay, on the last week 2 preview show, we had our Fab 5 at the end, and he actually gave 6, and I was like, I think you gave one too many. And he goes, no, that's 5. And it didn't matter because I think he went 6-0.
I
But
did.
before the last 2 games started, I was like, dude, pick one of them, because you can't say like, if one of them lost, oh, I would have taken that winner one anyway. So it didn't matter. He is going to win all 6 of them. And for his full slate of games, he went 14-2. He got a little assist from me because I think he was leaning Dolphins and then went to the Patriots side after I convinced him that anarchy is good.
There was a slight nudge there.
He
But then I held
also
strong on yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say on the Denver and Indy game, I was almost convincing him to take Denver, which would have been bad. For me, I was pissed off because the field goal thing happened, but because Denver was
Right.
a 2.5 point favorite, it wouldn't have mattered. But he stuck with his guns and went Colts, and they won outright. 14-2. I had a respectable 12-4, but for the Fab Five, I went 3-2. Um, Partly, I let my heart get. Zach let his heart get the better of him because he took the Jags, um, and Bengals won outright, but they also covered the spread. So there you go. That's that. He had a great week. So he is up right now. Uh, He's 7-3 in 2 weeks, and I'm 5-5.
Let's
And I
go,
think
baby.
for total records, he is where am I at? He is for total records, he is 25-7, and I'm 22-10. But we both had much better second weeks because we told you guys we know what we're
Week
talking
one,
about,
we
but
know,
week
we
one
know.
is a feel out. Week two kind of is too. So to go 14-2, week two is really impressive. 6-0 on your fucking against the spread locks is insane. So
Crazy,
at
crazy.
least listen to Brandon if nobody else.
I appreciate the kind words. And again, we're trending in the right direction because week one is indeed a little fluky, but we kept our head above water, right? Week two, we really found that sweet spot, and yours could have gone either way as well, right? You just narrowly missed out. So week three, I'm
Well, I
feeling
took
more
the Giants
confident.
because I felt like they had to, and they were right fucking there. If Brandon Aubrey's wife kept her yap shut, the Giants would be 1-1, and that would have been a great road win.
Butterfly effect, right? If only she did not support her husband to chase his dreams. So we're gonna go over week three here, and I mean parody is alive and well. I don't know if you had a chance to scroll through these guys. We are very much we operate off of vibes, right? And we don't like spend days and days analyzing all this. We see the spreads, we see the teams, we make the correct picks. That's all it's about. So I'm looking over it right now, and I think it's gonna be another fun, scrappy little week, Zach Pastrami. So let's get into it. This is Thursday morning that we're coalesced right here, and tonight we have the Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are heavy favorites at minus 850 on the money line, but the spread is minus 12 and a half in favor of the Bills.
Crazy.
Pastrami, how do you feel about this?
So we've talked about the Dolphins quite a bit. I mean, I think from episode 2 on, maybe, when you mentioned, how much different he looks from the time he took the job till now, the kind of Obama year 1 versus Obama
Yes,
year 8, the aging process that stress can
yes.
have on a human. Uh, Things are not going well in Miami, and it seems like after every loss they take, there's behind the scenes locker room press conference quotes that come out. I mean, even Mike McDaniel, you probably heard it where he's completely out of it because he's asked a
Checked
question
out.
about like winning and losing. He goes, "Oh, well, to win the game, you got to win the game and you can't lose the game," or some
One of his
incoherent.
quirky, zany answers that is
Yeah,
endearing when you're fucking hanging 70 points on the Broncos, but when you're getting just smashed in the mouth week after week, not endearing anymore. Kind of annoying.
absolutely. And I think we talked about that with Dan. I mentioned it with Dan Campbell where when you see the progress being made and you're winning more than you used to and you're getting to the playoffs, it's easier to buy into like the crazy guy who's talking all
Hmm.
this shit. But when you're losing, um, and not only that, but the players don't look like they're having fun, and
No,
it's
no,
nothing
no,
but
no, not at
drama
all.
and chaos coming out
Yes.
of from the news. Um, I don't know. It would be unprecedented to fire a coach like 3 weeks into a season, not on a bye week. But let's just say that the Bills stomped them out like we all expect, and obviously like Vegas thinks too, because 12.5 points, as we mentioned in the past, double-digit spreads in the NFL are usually pretty rare. You might
Hmm.
see a couple of them a year. We had one last week, Ravens Browns, or I think it was Ravens Browns, and
Hmm.
now almost a 13. They're saying this is a two-score difference. That's crazy in the NFL because despite records and this team looks whatever, like the skill level is not that significant. Okay, but I'm wondering if the Bills win, let's say 38-10 or
10. Yeah,
38-7
yeah,
or
yeah.
something, and it's another 28-point blowout, not close, and more drama comes out.
Is
Could
McDaniel
we
gone?
see Mike McDaniel? Let's rip the band-aid off now. I don't know. I would just suggest it because if you want any chance at salvaging anything, there needs to be a drastic change, a leadership change. In the United States, we call those regime changes.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
we like Mike McDaniel. It's not him. He seems like a great guy,
He's
but
gonna be a great offensive coordinator
yeah,
somewhere
he'll
next
he'll go
year.
somewhere and help a team out tremendously. But he is not cut out to be a head coach, and this experiment has not been great for him. But obviously, this is the Bills win uh, by a lot.
Yeah, obviously we're not. It'd be, and this could age poorly. And for chaos, it'd be fun if it did. But we're not even toying around with the money lines here. I think Bills are going to win outright. I'm also not going to be touching the spread because it's still double digits is a lot, right?
If they said 17 and a half, I probably still wouldn't touch it.
I like it. Just it seems it just something's giving me the ick, right? If you're gonna do anything, if you want to bet anything on the spread, then you're gonna bet Bills winning by over 12.5 and parlaying it with Mike McDaniel flipping burgers Monday morning. Honestly, like that's the only thing I could think. It's gonna be fun just to see tonight. Because week one is a fluke, right? Like week one, you can sometimes chalk it up to a fluke, right? Week two, narrative starts solidifying a little bit. Rumors are coming out. Players only meeting. We talked about it. The press conferences, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be fun to see tonight because if the Bills come out and just curb stomp them, I mean, and then we have our first real storyline of the season, right? And it's going to be really interesting to see. Between you and I, though, I have Jalen Waddle, who's questionable as of this morning, but I think he's going to play. Would you do Jalen Waddle or Cam Scatterbo on fantasy? They're both projected about 10
Waddle.
points. You would? Okay.
Because I mean, the Giants weren't really
right?
running the ball that well
Yeah.
on the Cowboys, and the Chiefs' defense is great. So I mean, the Chargers didn't run
You go
on them.
Jalen.
I think the Eagles. I don't know what the total number of rush yards were. I know that Barkley had a really nice touchdown run,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know if they had any big rushing gains or if they got some crazy 180 plus on them.
Yeah,
They have
nothing
a really
crazy
good
like
defense. Steve Spagnuolo is fantastic,
that. Right.
and the talent's there. So I
So we're
would
going
take.
Jalen Waddle. So anybody listening,
Well,
take
obviously, if he's
Waddle under
questionable,
reception.
you need to be up to date whether he's going to play or not. But I
I
think
know
he's
how
been
it
dealing
works.
with his shoulder for a while, and I think wide receivers will play on that. Everyone's got a shoulder these days.
Everyone does have a shoulder. We're
Drake
all
London
banged
has a
up,
shoulder.
right?
Darnell Mooney has a shoulder.
It's tough out there.
Somebody else, whatever.
It's an injury. Yeah. It's an injury season.
But also, once again, for the Dolphins on a short week against a juggernaut, expect blood.
Expect blood. I love that. We're so dramatic right now.
Also,
that's Thursday.
Joey Bosa, I saw this morning. He leads the league in forced fumbles, and he's by Pro Football Focus's algorithms and whatever. He's been rated like the number one defensive end or pass rusher.
Yeah.
To this point.
And he says he's finally feeling playing healthy, which is kind of fun,
Right.
Also, everybody's like, again, we're not an injury podcast, but everybody's injured. Everybody in the NFL has fucking something going on. Like, everybody from game one they're banged up somehow. These are guys running into each other for sport. Like, everybody's banged up. So, but I do love that he says that he's fully healthy, even though I don't believe it. So now we're going to enter the Sunday slate, okay? And I'm just going by DraftKings, so keep up with me. But again, we're improv artists, right? Whose line is it anyways? We got the Green Bay Packers at the Cleveland Browns. Green Bay Packers are heavy favorites on the money line. 8.5 point spread. Nearing that double-digit territory that we don't usually like to F with.
But you see that? How the Packers are like this Super Bowl favorite, and they're only an 8.5 point over Cleveland, but the Bills are a 12.5 point over Miami.
Well, because Cleveland actually has a defense.
But
and defense
we think Miami has an offense. So pros and cons, 8.5 compared to 12.5, that's a big difference.
8.5 is a lot.
Stop fucking around.
I would take the Cleveland Browns plus 8.5 here.
We'll put that in your Fab Five, but
I don't want to. We're still going.
You're taking the Packers to win.
I'm taking Packers to win, but I think Browns will cover that. Which I don't. I'm not crazy about it, but like just gut check. I'm not locking it in yet. I'm not locking it in right now.
Yes, you said.
That's crazy. How do you feel about this game?
What I just told you. I mean, Packers are going to cook them. So
yeah. You're not touching spreads
on this game. No. I mean, I think the spread's about right. I expect it to be when I say cook, because look, when you people that are in the gambling world, let me tell you guys something for people that are new to it, especially with it's more significant in like hockey and baseball, but a lot in football too. The backdoor cover, okay? A lot of
Hmm.
times when you
Hmm.
have a big lead and it's like 14 points, 17 points or whatever, you take your foot off the gas pedal. You don't care if they get yards because they can't win. You kind of want the clock to run. So that's what garbage time points are.
Yep.
So I could see the Packers being up 14, 17 points with 6 minutes to go and
And
Cleveland
Dylan
score.
Sampson gets some
Yeah,
garbage ass, or like
Judkins
Judy
for me because
breaks.
he's on my team, and they could get
Yeah.
like a last drive points, and it's meaningless to the game, but for spreads it is. So I think the spread's about right. I'm taking Packers to win on the road.
Oh yeah.
No surprise there, but I wouldn't touch this game either way. You
I'm
could
not.
tease
I'm
it
not. I'm
if you want to. If you want to tease 4 to 6 points, that changed my mind.
Packers are going to win straight up. I'm not. Let me cook on the spread though. Let me cook on the spread. And I know I said this was an exciting slate of games, and we led with literally the Bills that we barely even talked about because it's a goes without a given, and then the Packers that we're both so confident and high on, right? And this is another one that I'd be interested to see if you have any sort of different opinions. But next up is the New York Jets at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay heavy favorite on the money line at minus 360, 7-point spread. Bucks are favored by 7, right? How are you feeling about this one, my pastrami lunch meat friend?
Well, as I mentioned yesterday, I think the Jets are going to look a lot better with Tyrod at quarterback than with Justin Fields. It opens the entire field up. I like Tyrod as a quarterback. I think he played well in Buffalo. He was a Giants backup for a while and played well for us. He's one of those guys that he's just a solid quarterback in the NFL, borderline starter. Probably not at this age because he's at like mid to late 30s. But Garrett Wilson's gonna love him. Mason Taylor, Brees, they're all gonna enjoy him because he'll make things easier for them and help them produce. I've talked about how Baker's grown on me. It's in Tampa. I think the Bucks win this game, but it's also one of those things. If let me tell you this, if Justin Fields was playing, I would consider taking Bucks -7.
Mm-hmm.
But with Tyrod there, I think it's going to be. I think they'll put up a better fight. Well, I can't say that because it was 2019. I think Tyrod Taylor is going to look better than CJ Stroud.
That's a crazy take right there. Again,
It's
I'm
not
not touching.
crazy if you watch.
I am not. I'm not checking. I'm not peeping. If you watch this, we'll get into it because Texans also play this week. What are we doing? Yeah. Again, the 7 that enters that scary territory, right? And I'm actually going to be keeping my eye on this game because I'm a sicko sometimes when it's like, let's see what backup
Wait,
quarterbacks can do.
oh, never mind. Go ahead. I'm lit. Not really.
It's like this is kind of like a sicko week for backup quarterbacks, right? And we're going to get into it because there's a few games to where backups are starting. I'm going to be interested to see how Tyrod Taylor does, but Bucks are going to win straight out. I'm not too worried about that one. Do you have something you want to say? You want to move on to the next?
No, I thought you had moved on. I was like, wait, did you say who you wanted? And Buck, okay, but you did.
Yeah, we got there. Let me land this plane. Next up is the Los Angeles Rams at
Well,
the
real quickly, when we did our first 2 episodes for like AFC NFC picks, I didn't realize that you had only made a couple of your picks, and I was when I went back and watched to kind of get clips for TikTok and shit, I was like, wait, he let me give mine, but he never gave his, and that's why when we had Skylar on, I was like, you need to fucking give your picks because you gave a couple. You gave Eagles. I think you picked Bucks. You
Mhm.
picked Ravens and stuff like that, like the main ones. But for the majority of them, you just moved on without giving yours. So
I
that's
tell
why,
you
in my mind, PTSD. I was like, he took my
what.
pick but didn't give his. But you did.
So it's only taken us a few episodes to for you to lock in. I'm the master of just playing both sides, so I always come out on top. But I can say a lot of words without really saying anything of of substance at all. So you figured me out, and now the show's ruined, and you're gonna have to find a replacement. But we're gonna go to the Los Angeles Rams at my Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field. Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. Slight favorites on the money line at -185. Pastrami, what's your look? What's your feel on this game?
Oh man, I think I'm taking the LA Rams.
Straight up?
I think straight up, but definitely 3.5. I think their offense is better because you got Puka and Devontae playing excellent and healthy and happy. Kyron's kind of struggling a little bit, but he's like a volume guy. I have him on my fantasy, so that's why I pay attention to what he's doing. Um, and I think the Eagles might be a little bit better defensively, but the Eagles offense, as we've mentioned, seems to be struggling. They're winning and they're winning against good teams, but we've talked about potentially some drama between AJ and stuff because AJ wants the ball. He's one of those diva receivers that doesn't care that they're winning. He just wants to make sure he gets his. And he's not the only one, but yeah, I think the Rams are going to win this one.
You're taking Rams straight up, right?
Yes. Mustard lock.
That's a mustard lock right there. I'll tease around with you. I'll play with you. I'll fucking entertain you. For some reason, people like the Eagles last year were about as close to invincible as I can remember in a normal season, right? They were beating teams decisively. They were playing with their food, right? A lot of people forget that the Rams were one drop away from beating the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs. The only one that ever drew blood. Like it reminds me of like the Xerxes clip, you know, like by the end of this, you know, you'll know that even gods can bleed. Everybody seems to have forgotten that because it was sandwiched between two mollywhoppings, right? There's one or two.
You watched 300, but you haven't watched fucking
Don't
Star
come
Wars.
at me. Don't come at me. Yes, 300. Dude, remember how lit that movie was when it came out? And you want to know what? Do you watch it today?
I guess we were in high school when that came out, and it was kind of a big deal. But when you look back on it now, it's trash.
You watch it now. It still has, to this day, the same exact amount of sauce. It is so good. It is so good. I promise you. Go back and watch it. We'll have a movie in the off season.
Since then, I've learned so much about the battle at Thermopylae and how much. What was the guy's fucking name? Themistocles or some shit, like the naval captain for the Spartans against the Persian Empire, or whatever, the Greeks versus the Persians. Without that naval fleet that took, like, they had like a couple dozen ships and they took out a couple hundred Persian ships, and that's like a significant deal.
Yeah, very significant. But the entire point of the movie, it's so, because back then it's like, fuck yeah, we're watching it, right? But the entire point of the movie, because everybody's like, well, it's unrealistic. It's supposed to be. It's like the first instance of like propaganda, because like they go back and the Greeks fucking died and they probably did not do as well as they made it sound. But then the runner went back to the city and he's like, man, we got a chance. And he hyped everybody up with all these fucking glorified stories of like Leonidas and stuff like that. And then they went and they just mollywopped, right? Incredible movie. Go back and watch it.
Go watch a documentary on it. It's a lot better. The truth is actually better. Sometimes the truth is more interesting and entertaining than what Hollywood turns them into.
Well, yeah, but it was meant to be Hollywood. It was literally like Zack Snyder. It was supposed to be like the graphic novel. Okay, put the fucking 300 in the bag, bro. LA Rams at Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody forgot that the Rams almost beat the Eagles. There's one of two ways that this is going to go, okay? And this is reminiscent of the 2023 Eagles, and this is going to be a turning point in the season. We're either going to have to open up the playbook, and Kevin Patullo is even going to have to show that he can actually design plays to beat good defenses, and the Eagles win decisively, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith ball out, all that kind of good stuff, or the Rams cover the 3.5. I am going to go Rams covering the 3.5 right here, all right? I think it's going to be a close game. If anybody ekes it out, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a close one, but I'm terrified for this game. There's a very real world to where the Eagles lose, and we start the season 2-1, and we got to go back to the drawing board.
And loses?
You don't want me to do the spread?
No, you can do. You're like scared to say. You don't want to say who you think wins outright.
I am terrified. I am terrified to say who wins outright. I'm still going to be a homer, and I am going to say Eagles win outright. But I like the 3.5 for the Rams. Let's move on because talking about my fucking team stresses me out.
Do you think Hurts and AJ and everyone's are going to be happy after the game?
It depends. Like if we
that's what I'm asking you. I'm asking you to make a prediction.
If we keep playing the same gut check is that we're going to come out, we're going to be calling pedestrian fucking offense. Hurts is going to have like 92 yards because all we keep running is these fucking 4 outs. Like, no. If I had to do gut check, they're not going to be after the game because they lose. In a perfect world, I want them to win and everybody's happy. I have to bet on them until I can't. So
I want you to quit sitting on fences and quit trying to, play both sides against the middle and just say, this is what I think we're going to win. AJ's going to have 10 catches, 140 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
I don't know, though. I don't know.
We can't know.
I already said the thing.
I do want to say, I think last year or the year before, when this issue had arose last time, it's crazy that it's coming up now because they just beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are a team in the midst of a dynasty or in the middle of we're acting like they should have blown them out like it was the Super Bowl. And I guess that's not crazy because of the score in the Super Bowl, but
different offensive coordinator.
But anyway, so when there's a period of time, a year or two ago, once again, get to the point, Zach, that AJ was unhappy, and like the next game, because he had said something in the media to somebody.
He always says that. He said that last year that he needs to be targeted, and then Hurts peppered him with like 11 targets.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Is the last time that happened, Hurts purposely involved him in the game, and it worked.
But we had Kellen Moore, who
so
has
that's why I'm wondering if
they're
going to try to do that again.
I don't think Kevin Patullo has the sauce, but we'll see. We'll see. And either way, I'm going to be unhappy.
That's good.
Atlanta Falcons at the Carolina Panthers, right? Falcons are minus 238 money line, 5.5 point favorites.
They covering that.
I think they cover that. I love the Falcons right now. I love the Falcons. I don't know why. I have no basis behind it. I just think Michael Penix is going to keep getting better. They're kind of like I don't know. The Falcons cover. They win. Let's go. Maybe I'm so low on the Panthers too.
Every week, like Panthers and Saints, they're like the games I like have no fucking patience for. Like I'm not gonna watch that. But after week 1, I was a little concerned about the Falcons because I took them to win the division alone. But once again, people got to keep in mind the Bucks needed an amazing throw from Baker Mayfield to take the lead late, and a missed kick from Younghoe Koo, who is usually pretty, he's a good kicker. I don't know if he's going to get his job back now because that Romo Parker guy went 5 for 5 off the streets. That's why we got to nerf kicking.
Adjust the sliders.
But they handled Minnesota pretty easily. They were winning against the Bucks most of that game until the end, and the final score is really all that matters. But it tells me that I was a little too quick to be like concerned. I think they're going to be fine. They went heavy defense in the draft, so those guys they got a lot of young guys in there that are getting their first taste of the NFL, and I think they're going to eat the fucking Panthers. And that might be one of my mustard locks is Falcons minus 5.5 because I think it's going to be at least a 7-point game.
Yeah. So we both feel the same about the Falcons, and we both feel the same about the Panthers. So we'll loop back, but I think
No, you don't feel the same because our first show you said you liked the Panthers, and you were questioning me because I was like, I can only name like 5 guys on their team, so I don't know what to say about them.
Well, when new information comes out to prove, to form a basis around, you can adjust your findings. You know that, right? Evidence. You're so mad right now. Indianapolis Colts
You're getting ready to get put into a rye slam.
How good is the Walls of Jericho as a finishing move? That was pretty good, right?
I like the Lion Tamer version better.
I'm not privy to such knowledge. So
the Lion Tamer is the walls, but he lifts your body up off the mat more, so you're like more on your head and shoulders.
That sounds more
the Lion Tamer. That's a cool fucking.
My favorite shampoo, Head and Shoulders. No. Indianapolis Colts at Tennessee Titans. The Colts are 4.5-point favorites, slight favorites on the money line, minus 198. I'll start this one off. There has to come a point to where we need to start putting some respect on my Indianapolis Colts and my favorite quarterback of all time, Indiana Jones. Colts are going to win this straight out. I also think Colts are going to cover the 4.5 spread.
I feel the same way.
Really?
The only trepidation I have
Big word. Careful now. Careful.
is that despite how good Daniel Jones has been, because he's still Danny Dimes from New York for me, he can't be perfect all the time. And we've mentioned that the Titans defense is pretty solid. I think I'm going to take the Colts to win and cover, but it would not surprise me if the Titans kept it close. This might be a mustard lock. I'll give my final answer at the end of the show, but I think people are still kind of like, is this for real? Because they did need a leverage penalty to kind of help them out there.
Well, against the Broncos, one of the best defenses in the league.
That's what I was thinking. But
here's what this is giving shades of. This is what this is giving shades of. We've seen this movie before.
It feels like a trap.
This feels like the Indianapolis Colts this season. And I'm not saying this is the way it is, but if
it's
Sunday
just the
goes...
way it is.
Just the way it is. Are the New Orleans Saints of last year. Because you remember the New Orleans Saints, nobody expected them, and yet they're winning in different ways than the Saints did last year because the Saints just burned everybody, and then they fell back down to earth week 3, and they never quite recovered. There's a chance that this is what this is.
They got wrecked by injuries.
That's true. Yeah, that's true as well. But
and the
also,
Colts haven't lost anybody that I know of.
They haven't, but we also now have 2 weeks of tape on Daniel Jones when they entered the 3rd week of training camp not announcing a starter. You know, like game planning and coaching matters. I don't know. I'm still taking Colts to cover, but there's a world to where you and I are very upset. And
I want to know what studying game tape can do against Daniel Jones, an athletic robot.
He's not like, okay, like I'm playing it up for the bit. He's not that good. He's not a robot. Jonathan Taylor might be. We're going to, We're going to, so now we're getting into the mud. Now we're getting into the muck. Like it's easy to be like Buffalo Bills and Green Bay Packers, and now like they're dragging us down, and they're just gonna beat us to death with uncertainty. We have the Las Vegas Raiders at the Washington Commanders. Okay, Commanders are slight favorites at 3-point favorites, minus 180 on the money line. Las Vegas Raiders are coming off of a very, very pedestrian performance of Geno Smith, right? And the Commanders, is Jane Daniels, they're starting Marcus Mariota?
I was trying to cheat and hope that you forgot about that, and I'm Googled his health status right now, and I don't think they're making a decision yet, but it says MRI results revealed a sprained knee for Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels. So the fantasy pros says our AI model predicts a 30% chance that Jaden Daniels will play on Sunday against the Raiders.
30% chance?
But they haven't made a decision yet, I don't believe.
Is it a cowardice to not touch this until we hear?
Yes.
That is cowardice?
I think people will forgive us.
I think people will as well.
But I don't think it matters. I wouldn't probably touch the spread. But I'll take Commanders at home over the Raiders because Gene T isn't running the ball effectively. I don't think they can. And Geno Smith had 3 interceptions. You can say one of them was a punt, but he
was so bad.
So it's not like the Raiders have established themselves as like a team to be reckoned with. Everyone thinks that some of the some of the acquisitions and coaching changes and stuff have made a difference. Oh, that reminds me, dude. I was watching something last night.
How sidetracked do you get?
because I don't know if this will ever be brought up again, but this is a good little segue, especially if I'm going to be stuttering like a fucking
How is
idiot.
this a segue? We're literally in the middle
Because
of discourse.
this is discourse. I want to give the people credit because they're people that we know. This was not my original idea. Um, these are the guys from Sports Illustrated. Fucking ads. But so Sports Illustrated, they did a thing of Tom Brady's conflict of interest
Oh yeah.
because there was, these little tweets that he was in the coach's box and he was talking to Chip
Like a
Kelly and stuff.
coordinator, yeah.
But I never thought about this because I don't know how the inner workings of TV broadcasting and stuff go. Obviously, we've learned that the guys in the booth go and talk to the teams and talk to players. That's how they get those quotes and shit that you hear throughout the game when they say, "Oh, we talked to him during the week and he said he was feeling really good about this and things are going right." Blah blah blah. I think it's completely unfair and ridiculous to have Tom Brady doing color commentary after these guys also they planted this thought in my brain that, especially like with free agents and things like that, Tom Brady is allowed to go to other teams' facilities and talk to their players and develop a rapport and feel them out, because if you're signed to a team and you're not a free agent, other teams can't talk to you. That's a tampering. But he's able to do it through this. You know what I mean? He's able to go talk to other teams and other players and go see what they're about. Like meeting a person and seeing how they handle themselves and their demeanor and stuff can make a big difference on like your
Huge.
free agent acquisitions and who you want to trade and why. But also thinking about like younger players in the league or kids coming out of college want to meet Tom Brady. I'm not saying he can't be an owner, but he can't be able to have access to players that other owners don't have access to. They use the example of Carly Ursay, Jim Irsay's daughter, I think is uh,
Mm-hmm.
in control of the Chargers, and he was like, "If I'm Carly Ursay, I go and ask for a whatever pass, player access pass, and I want to be able to go to their locker room and talk to those players too, because Tom Brady's doing it." So that's to me, that's a huge advantage. Maybe not this year, but moving
But down the line.
forward, he's got networking capabilities that other people don't have. And they also mentioned this is Tom Brady, one of the most competitive people there is, and the New England Patriots record for cheating and trying to find the competitive edge has always been suspicious. Didn't stop the Giants from beating their ass, you know, ball don't lie. But there was also like a story about Tom Brady meeting with Matt Stafford at like a ski resort or some shit. This is from Sports Illustrated. This is all them, not me. But it was an interesting idea that I wanted to bring up, but didn't remember it until now.
Right now, right? It is a huge conflict of interest. It's a huge conflict of
And
interest. It
an
gives me
advantage.
100%, right? Some sort
Ban
of
Tom
advantage.
Brady.
Ban Tom Brady. Good thing both of our teams happen to beat them in the Super Bowl, but I agree with you completely. It is a whole it's a huge conflict of interest and a huge potential long term advantage. I don't know how he can get away with it, but it's insane to me.
Okay, so
And
where
then
were we at?
we were talking about Raiders Commanders, and you say Commander, you're taking Commanders at home.
Yeah.
What I would do is I'll walk both sides of the fence. The only reason the Commanders are as good as they are is because of Jane Daniels. I like he's really really good. He can elevate the people around him. If Jane Daniels plays, Commanders win. If he doesn't play, Raiders win. It's as simple as that.
I don't accept that.
Well, we did not. We said we don't have to bet on it anyways.
Well, you don't have to. You don't have to use it as a Fab Five, but you have to fucking.
I don't know. I can't make a decision. I just made a decision. If Jane Daniels plays, they win. If he doesn't, Raiders win. That's it. I don't have to bet
All
on
right.
it right
Well,
now.
I'm
It's
changing
Thursday.
all my picks to whoever scores the most points wins.
That's so fucking different.
Whoever wins the turnover battle and has less penalties and converts on third down the most and has the ball the most, that's who
not
I
the
think
same.
wins.
It's not the same. It's not the fucking same.
I'm picking.
How about this one? How about this one? Cincinnati Bengals at Minnesota Vikings.
Ban Brandon.
As we all had circled in the preseason, Jake Browning versus the Carson Wentz.
No, you have to pick a winner right now. Washington
For what?
Raiders.
Bengals, Vikings.
But
Carson.
Let's talk about conflict of interest here. We're trying to keep track of a scoreboard over here. You're 22-7 or whatever, 25-7. I'm picking them. I've made a pick, and you didn't want to make a pick, but that's going to affect my overall record. And I put balls on the table. That's what Mr. Captain Pastrami does.
And we don't know who the quarterback. We're not gonna talk. We're not gonna talk before Sunday, and I can text you and be like, "Hey, just so you know."
How are our loyal fans gonna know?
And we will tell
we
them.
Do this for them.
Do you understand how the relay of information works?
But they're gonna forgive us. Hey guys, we're making these decisions based on the fact that we think.
I will never forgive you.
I will
never forgive you. I will never forgive you. Because now if the fucking
forgiveness is my own.
Cincinnati Bengals.
You took Raiders.
Minnesota Vikings. Jake Browning and his hot wife versus Carson Wentz.
Is she?
And his CTE brain, Davion Clowney. So Carson Wentz is the first NFL quarterback in history to start for 6 different teams in 6 seasons.
Is that? Look at you! You always have fun facts.
I do always have fun facts. I do, and I got all the fun stuff, right? That's why I'm the color guy, and you're the unreasonable whatever guy. I'd probably be the more analytical one. You're the color guy. Whatever.
I stand on business.
Bengals, Vikings. I hate this game. I hate what the universe has done to us. Minnesota Vikings are 3-point favorites. Who are you picking?
You're a POS. So here's how look. I think people have kind of been unfair to Carson Wentz.
You love Carson Wentz.
I don't love him, but I think there's been some BS regarding his talent level, because when he was an Eagle, obviously injuries kind of changed things, but there was a point where he was 11-2, 33 touchdowns, 7 ints, and people were talking about him being an MVP.
He was MVP voting favorite.
And then Big Dick Nick came in and stomped Tom Brady out. And then I think because they drafted Jalen Hurts the following year.
They did.
So I think that can get in somebody's head, especially when you're coming back from an injury. Am I the same guy I used to be? And he's missed games, and 3-8-1. That's not good. 9-8-0. Went to so when he went to the Colts, that wasn't a very good team, but he was 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and people were like, he sucks. That's a almost 4-to-1 INT TD ratio. The team went 9-8, so I mean he's got to take some responsibility for that, I guess. But 27-7 is not bad. Then he's gone to shitty teams. So he went to Indy, bad team. Washington was a bad team. Then he was a backup for the Rams. The one game he played, 17-24, 163 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick. And then last year, he started one game, and I think that was the end of the year because they're resting guys, right? That was when they got murdered by Denver. It was like 38-0 or some shit. So bad situation. He's not playing with starters. I'm taking the Vikings because their defense is still better than the Bengals. I don't think anybody disputes that. Jake Browning looked great. I looked at some of the highlights, and I was watching a lot of shit because of the Brian Tom situation. And I love when backups come in and they're not timid. He was throwing that thing all over the fucking place and connecting with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and some other rookie that he's not a rookie, but he connected with another rookie receiver that his first NFL catch was a touchdown. And then they also showed him on the sidelines talking to guys. He's like, hey, get sex. I got to go through my protection thing. So he's prepared. I like them, but I think that the defense is going to be more of an issue than the Jags defense was, especially with Brian Flores with all these crazy blitzing patterns and schemes he runs. So I like Carson Wentz with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Mason and Hawkinson more than I like
Jake
Browning
with
with
Chase Brown maybe.
So long story short, Vikings.
Okay. So, I'm the king of the Wentz discourse, right? And this is not a Wentz podcast. However, we came up with that fun fact that he played for 6 different teams in 6 different seasons, only guy to ever do it, right? Injuries, all that kind of stuff. Like you're pulling up, like, his record or whatnot, and he's like, hey, he was on some mediocre teams and he had okay seasons, right? You ever hear the adage, like the old adage where like where if somebody's like, man, like I was getting my coffee and this dude was like an asshole, right? And then like I go to work and there's so many assholes there, and then like after work I'm out at the bar and there's all these assholes there, and it's like eventually you have to look at the variable, like maybe you're the asshole. If everybody you run into you think is an asshole, you're the asshole. Carson Wentz's issue has never been talent. Yes, there's been dips and injuries or whatnot, but he's always been a locker room issue, right? He's always been, yeah, he a lot, and that's exactly why. I honestly do believe that's why they ended up going with Hurts, because Wentz was a better quarterback than Hurts, especially coming out of it, right? But there was a huge locker room presence, and he was super unhappy that they drafted a backup and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, you had a backup come in and win the Super Bowl for you. That's going to mess with your head, right? That's going to mess with your head. This is a battle of coaching. This is who I think's a better coach in the moment, and I think Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores, like you said, are better coaches with getting the most out of their players in this instant. I'm going with the Vikings as well. I think Wentz is going to do enough to win. It's hard to bet against it. I'm not super confident about it, but I do think the Vikings are going to win. So I'm glad we can align with this.
Two things.
Yes.
Go ahead. Finish what you're doing.
Carson Wentz rushing touchdown. Put it on your parlay.
So, first thing, do you happen to know any, like, do you remember any stories like that came out about his like behavior, or like fucking?
There were a few things about like Brandon Graham kept kind of leaking stuff to the media about how there was a division in the locker room, and Wentz kind of made it uncomfortable with almost having people draw lines, and then so you have to imagine the personalities or whatnot, because you know how Hurts conducts himself, right?
Well,
He's
so
from
I
the
was going to
school
ask,
to
is
say,
this pre or post Hurts?
This is post Hurts. So as far as I know, Wentz was a liked commodity in the locker room, 16 and 17, and it really all started coming out when he got injured, and then the team happened to go win the Super Bowl without him, and then they got rid of Foles, and then they drafted Hurts, and it just it was always that kind of air, and that's when I heard things started going murky, right?
Okay, so my second thing was, yesterday you were kind of glazing Aaron Rodgers a little bit.
A little bit.
And I think everybody, because this is when he hadn't let us know too much about him. Everybody in the world, I think, football fans, when they're being honest, whether they, are like an NFC North fan that hates him, if you're a Bears fan, for example, you always respected Aaron Rodgers and always felt like the organization was fucking up by not drafting him a first round receiver. And then they draft Jordan Love, and he was pissed, you know what I mean? And that was kind of, I think, the fracture where the cracks began to show, and he was on his way out, but everyone was pro Rodgers. Like, the Packers fucked that up. So I don't know anything about Wentz. He might be a piece of shit, and I'm gonna regret somebody take this out of context. Oh, look at this guy sticking up for Carson Wentz. The information I have was he was playing pretty damn well, and I know because I'm a Giants fan, he was beating our asses, and I remember the MVP conversations. But I would feel a little jaded if I was performing well, and I'm coming back from an injury, and my team uses a second round pick to draft a quarterback, and not another. I don't know what.
Give me a lineman. Give me a receiver.
Well, I was gonna say a lineman, but I thought they had a really good line for a long time. Whatever it was, whatever their weakness was, something that we can use now to make our team better now. It's kind of like the Aaron Rodgers argument. Why are you drafting my replacement for 3 years from now? I'm still here. I can understand being frustrated at that point. I still think you have to be a professional about it. So if he's in the locker room saying, we have to ostracize Hurts, or fuck with the coaches because of this, or whatever, or management, you can't do that. So if that's true, then that is kind of an immature thing. But I can at least understand the animosity.
Right, 100%. Yeah, 100%. That's all what went into it, and it's going to be interesting to see if Guy can still ball. But if we have to, there's there's an angle here that we can try and develop over the season just as we ramble and improv and banter and stuff. But there might be a chaos pick here. There might be a chaos pick here. And if we're leaning into the chaos as we tend to do, how incredible if Wentz comes out, 415 yards, 3 touchdowns.
I'm reading your mind. I had the same thought because I hate cutting you off. Go ahead, finish. I'm an asshole.
There's a world to where that's a lot of fun, and then then JJ comes back in 2 to 3 weeks and stinks it up. Wentz has been on a tear. Now Wentz is the prodigal backup leading us. That's fun. That's fun. All I'm saying. Not if you're like a Vikings fan or anybody who likes any sort of certainty in this world. That's fun for chaos. What's your thoughts?
So me and Skylar have been in trade talks. He needs a quarterback for bye weeks. It's a 2 quarterback league, and we've been talking about Mac Jones and Carson Wentz because they're on my bench. And he sent me a trade: Carson Wentz, Judkins, and Kyle Williams, and a first for like BTJ and a third. Because we were talking about Mac Jones, or I was sent him Mac Jones, RJ Harvey, Calvin Austin, and a first for BTJ and a third, and he countered with that. And in my mind, I was actually in the process of sending this thought to him. I was like, I understand in the trade that Carson Wentz is a fucking what? I'm an idiot. He's a fucking I'm stupid. Is a rental. I was thinking about the word rental. You're not going to start him. He's only there for the bye week, and we don't even know how long McCarthy's going to be out. We just expect a high ankle sprain, 2 to 3 weeks maybe. But I was like, what if Wentz lights it up? And they're like, we're going to keep this going. Or we put McCarthy back in and he sucks. Because Sam Darnold was amazing last year. And I was thinking, like, Carson Wentz was an MVP candidate before. I think he's been scapegoated in different plays. I think the Indianapolis thing was crazy because he had good numbers. The team made a lot of interesting issues. But I think they're pissed off because like the play to possibly get them in the playoffs was interception, and they're only focusing on that one turnover, so the totality of the fucking season. But I was like, what if, because we're not very high on JJ McCarthy. What if Wentz does well enough for where they're winning and the offense looks in rhythm and everyone's happy and excited and Jefferson's getting the ball and
I love it.
JJ's a rookie on a rookie contract, so you don't have a ton invested into him. You can kind of cut your losses, and he becomes like the backup or tradable.
Your cart before horse, but there's a world where this happens. I'll be watching.
McCarthy has looked pretty bad, and he also had the meniscus tear or whatever last year, and he's hurt his second game. He doesn't look good when he's playing, and he's healthy. And Wentz has a little baller in him, I think. And so that was the thought. I was like, what if I trade him fucking Wentz? And then Wentz just never has to go to a backup role again. And he just becomes the Vikings quarterback for the next couple of years. That's what I was thinking about.
That's the chaos pick right there. That's the chaos pick.
Vikings
we're moving on. We're both taking Vikings. Pittsburgh Steelers and New England Patriots. Promise we already touched on the Aaron Rodgers thing. We're not going to be rambling here.
Not us.
Steelers are 1.5 point favorites. Patriots are underdogs at plus 105 money line. I'm picking the New England Drake Mays to win straight up. I think he's only going to get better. I think the Steelers are only going to get worse. We just had by the way, just so you know, I was looking at a live. We just had a live change in odds, which was kind of fun on the next game coming up. But I'm taking Patriots straight up. I'm not super confident about it, but I want the Patriots to win. I want Drake May to do well. That's crazy. You never would have thought hearing coming from me, but I'm taking Patriots.
Yeah, this is an interesting one because I think everyone kind of has high expectations for the Patriots, and same with the Steelers because the Steelers haven't been bad; they've been good, and people think that Rodgers can be, the stability at quarterback they need. But then we've also seen Steelers look fantastic week 1 and look mediocre week 2. But the same thing is reversed for the Patriots: week 1 bad, week 2 good. I think because I don't trust the Steelers running the ball, and they've given up some points, that I got to go Patriots.
Let's go.
At home.
In Foxborough.
And for my boy Kyle Williams to have his first touchdown.
Let's hammer it.
Non-existent or whatever. Yeah. So Patriots at home.
And now finally, we're getting to the meat and potatoes.
Where the rubber meets the road, huh?
We're trying to keep this short, but I know you got some strong feelings.
I'm not gonna. I've done too much rambling, and I already feel like a piece of shit.
But you're in your comfort zone. This is the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Texans are underdogs. Jaguars are 1.5 point favorites. Houston Texans at plus 110. We could talk all day. I feel like we're an AFC South podcast. I really do. We keep coming back to these two teams, and I don't quite know why. I'm going to do a gut check here, and the Texans are coming. The Texans they're weak. They're stumbling. He's hurt, like Joe Rogan, like in the octagon, like, oh, he's hurt. I'm going to take the Texans right here. And I'm not super thrilled about it. I'm going to take the Texans to beat the Jaguars. They need a comeback win. They're plus 110. I'm putting it on the Texans.
So I've been pro Jags and I'm not even anti-Texans. I just told people my.
It just somehow the narrative kind of shifted that way.
But then the response I got kind of made me anti-Texans. But I'm not letting that sway my opinion on things. I feel like the Jags are in a similar situation because of how bad last game went when they had a lead. You're playing a Burrow-less Bengals, and Jake Browning comes in and fucking roasts you. And Trevor is playing terribly. BTJ, 4 catches on 12 targets. There's already some, like, we need to get on the right track now before this gets too out of control. And I think the Jaguars' running game is good enough, and the defense is okay, but the Texans' offense sucks, which is what I've been saying. Reminder, I've been saying that for before the season started. Did I mention that the Texans' offense isn't any good?
So you're taking the Jags?
I'm taking the Jags at home, and for BTJ to have a rebound game, he's gonna, I'll say, 8 receptions, 110 yards and a touchdown.
That's crazy. Hammer it. We have the Boring Bowl. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints at the Seattle Seahawks.
What? Are you doing this shit on purpose to me?
What do you mean?
Dick Hammer's grandson. Every week there's like, you forget that he is a fucking quarterback of the Seahawks.
He's the most this
is insane.
They're so forgettable. They're so forgettable. Both of these teams, until I saw this, I forgot that they were teams. And I don't know why. I have no reason for it. New Orleans Saints at the Seahawks. If you're stuck watching this game, I feel bad for you. Seahawks are 7-point favorites. There's no sauce here. I don't even want to talk about it. Seahawks are going to win. Spencer Rattler's kind of scrappy, I guess.
I think I'm going to make
JSN is smooth.
I'm going to make this a mustard lock. I think Seahawks at home against the Saints. 7. I think -7 is a slap in the face. This is Dick Hammer's grandson. He just beat the Steelers, who are better than the Saints, in Pittsburgh by 2 scores. So the Saints are going to come to the 12th man and lose by less than that?
You're right.
People need to fucking put respect on Dick Hammer's grandson's name, which is his name, Dick Hammer's grandson.
First name Dick, middle name Hammer.
Hammer's
grandson. Hammer, sorry, with an apostrophe. Seahawks are going to win. You're taking your mustard lock.
Comfortably. I'm going to make it a mustard lock. Enough playing games. And this will be the first touchdown spread like that. We've been doing between 2.5 and 5 point spreads. First full touchdown spread going to the Seahawks.
Done.
Dick Hammer's grandson.
Dick Hammer's grandson. Moving on up, the game everybody should actually be watching. Denver Broncos at the LA Chargers. LA Chargers are 2.5 point favorites. Again, I'm saving my mustard locks, I guess. Can I say mustard locks, or is that trademark for you?
I'm the master of the mustard lock.
I'm taking
and the rye slam.
Chargers -155 money line. Pretty close to a pick 'em, but Chargers slight favorites. I am going I'm going Los Angeles Chargers. I'm very high on the Chargers right now, and they're super sexy uniforms. I do like the Broncos. I like their defense. I think there's some sauce to their team, but Bo Nix has not showed out yet, and the Chargers have just been playing, not lights out, but about as close as you can get when you start looking at this season's performances. So I'm going LA Chargers.
I'm gonna make this a mustard lock too. Chargers at home to cover 2.5. Because the Broncos offense worries me because Sean Payton once again thinks he's the smartest man alive. Number one, they don't have any real receiving threats. Cortland Sutton would be a number two on any other team,
You put no respect on who Troy Franklin.
and
That took like
Marvin Mims.
yeah.
I like to see some Pat Bryant. But here's the thing, and I'm a little biased because I have RJ Harvey on my team, but RJ Harvey is your best offensive weapon, your most explosive, and you're not giving him the ball because you're Brandon has this idea, this theory, this hypothesis that it's about rookies and pass protection problems. Um, I'm sure that plays a part of it, but you need to score some points because honestly, they beat the Titans and it was a multiple score win, but it did not look as good as we thought it would, as lopsided as we thought it would be.
Hmm.
And then also last week, obviously losing to the Colts. Feed RJ Harvey. Like I'm tired of Sean Payton not like just thinking that he knows better than we do.
He's outthinking himself. He always has.
He's yeah, and I don't know. So the Broncos offense is struggling. Chargers defense is amazing, and right now Justin Herbert's the best quarterback in the league through 2 weeks. Him and Daniel Jones, who's been better.
You're right. We're both taking
The Chargers
Chargers.
are doing whatever they want to people. So
Chargers.
easily, I think that's a easy lock.
So now on to the next. Dallas Cowboys at Chicago Bears. This is surprising to me. This is this is surprising to me. Okay, Cowboys are 1.5 point favorites. Again, a really tight spread right there. But again, this is as close on the week as we can get to a pick 'em because the Cowboys are minus 118 money line and the Bears are even a minus 102 money line. This is we're not getting into my locks, my Fab Five yet, but this is Dallas Cowboys and it's pretty comfortable. Do you know who the two NFC offensive player of the week have been through this season?
Javante was week 1, wasn't he?
Mm-mm.
No.
No. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. It's whatever quarterback played the Chicago Bears. It was J.J. McCarthy. It was J.J. McCarthy for the first week, which is
Really?
bullshit. Which is bullshit. Which is bullshit. But it was J.J. McCarthy because his fourth quarter comeback, and there was Jared Goff last week. If there's any money left in your wallet right now, you're putting it on Dak Prescott to be the NFC Offensive Player of the Week because, as history shows, the quarterback that plays the Chicago Bears is the NFC Offensive Player of the Week because the Bears suck that much. I can't believe this is as close as it is. Put the house on the Cowboys. That's me.
For all the loyal fans that watched yesterday, I've come to had an epiphany about Caleb Williams. And would you agree that quarterback is the most important position on the field?
I would say so. And give everybody the cliff notes about your opinion of Caleb, the quarterback of the Chicago.
That's what's going to go into this. I'm picking the Dallas Cowboys, and when the spreads are like 1 or 2 points, I always feel like those should be like easy, like just eat the 1.5 points because you rarely see 1 or 2 point games. I say that, but then the Broncos, Colts, and then
This is all gonna happen. Yeah.
Bucks and Texans were 1 point. But the Chicago players, the Chicago Bears are playing without a quarterback, and so that's tough to. You can't win a game if you don't have one.
Isn't
So
Caleb Williams your quarterback?
he's just a fill-in. He's not really a quarterback. He's just there. Do you know in the history, like the beginning of football, the quarterback and halfback and tailback, the halfback. I'm gonna get all this fucked up, but the quarterback actually used to be more like a fullback. He was a quarterback, so he was a quarter of the length behind like the running back and was usually like a lead blocker.
No
And then
shit.
yeah, so interesting. That's kind of what he is. He's just there as a body. He's
So you're
just a body
taking.
out there.
I love it. By the way, until we get into the Cardinals 49ers, you also did say week one that Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson were going to fuck.
Yeah,
Okay, that's fine.
I have
See,
to
we
eat.
can
I have to
learn.
eat shit on that. There. I mean, it's week 2. We say this, and the second I give up on him, he's gonna become fucking god, which is how it always ends up being. But I I'm tired of seeing like the fucking nonchalant he's just not with it. He
He
does
isn't
not
there.
care. He does not want to be there.
NFC West. Arizona Cardinals versus the San Francisco 49ers. Mac Jones, the Mac Joners, right? The San Francisco 49ers are 2.5-point favorites against the Cardinals. I'm looking at this, and I don't want to touch either one of these. I really don't want to touch these spreads. I think I'm going to be avoiding it. I do think Kyle Shanahan's going to be able to coach his way out of this, and I am going to take the 49ers. I think they're too talented, but this will be a fun one. What do you think?
Like a fully healthy 49ers, there would be no question, right? And I think the difference is going to be the fact that the 49ers defense is a little bit better. They're playing at home, and Christian McCaffrey is healthy for Christian McCaffrey terms.
Standards, yeah.
So the Cardinals are a little sneaky, aren't they?
They're a little sneaky,
Skyler
man.
was.
They're a
I mean,
little
they've
sneaky.
had kind of a soft schedule. I don't remember who they played. They played the Saints and the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So it can't get any softer than that. This is gonna be like their litmus test. But I gotta take the 49ers at home. But they are kind of sneaky. Kyler Murray's sneaky. He's a little
Kyler Murray,
sneaky snake.
a little sneaky. He's tiny. He could be
And they do
anywhere right
have
now.
Marvin Harrison Jr. They have Trey Benson or Trey Benson, and then Trey McBride, and James
Mm-hmm.
Conner is a fucking fighter. So
Most boring player on earth.
except for when I draft him when he was a Steeler, and then he gets hurt, and then waste my life. But
how
yeah,
it
49ers at home should that feels good.
Should be good. Kansas City Chiefs and New York Giants. This is the emotional bowl for everybody involved. Chiefs are 6-point favorites against the East Rutherford Russell Wilsons and Malik Neighbors. The funniest possible outcome is that the Giants win this game. I would love so much if the New York Giants could win this game. However, I feel like you're on the receiving end. Xavier Worthy practiced today. I know he's not a world beater or anything like that, but that's what they came into the season wanting, and it got blown up about 4 snaps in. I am going to take the Chiefs, and I think they're going to angry play you guys, and I hate that you are on the receiving end of it, but I do want the Giants to win, but the Chiefs are going to.
Incorrect. When Captain Pastrami was born,
Eons ago.
it was because of the power and might of the New York Football Giants. And they've been lost in a fog for about 15 years or so. Well, no, they won in about 12 or 13 years, just kind of wandering through the desert. But they found their way back home. The New York Giants are fucking back. Okay? They're back 100%. I'm fully reeled in. No doubt in my mind. New York Giants are going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Take the points if you want, but they're going to win outright. Last week they beat themselves. I don't know what you just said. We had 12.
I was whispering, do you hear him?
We had 14 penalties for 160 yards last week. I went through the games. This is my little stats shit. The closest ones to that were Cowboys had 100 yards in penalties. Titans 10 for 62. Colts 11 for 68. Cardinals 12 for 96, and Pats 12 for 75. No one broke 100. We had 160.
There's a whole football field between like the next highest. That's crazy.
There was a lot of
yards.
Steelers Seahawks. They had 4 penalties all game. We had that on the fucking first drive. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm getting really pissed off because I have, in my YouTube feeds and shit, I get suggested Giants content, and I'm calling out our boys, the Valley Sports, and this other show, Talking Giants, because in their titles they put, I think Valley's was new low, and the other guys talking Giants were like, embarrassing loss. What was embarrassing about this? If this guy's wife shut up, we'd have won that game because no other kicker is going to get a 64-yard field goal. We were winning that game, whatever it was, 37-34 or whatever, and a fucking miracle happened. And we beat ourselves most of that game. We looked a lot better than they did all game. And I also want people to understand something. People were really high on the defensive line and front seven. I love our secondary, people. I love them. Dubin is 24. Holland is 25. Lott is 24. Phillips is 23. The Giants are so quick. Giants fans are so quick to fucking want to throw people out and replace them. This young players are going to make mistakes and learn from them. But I see it. I see what's there. Those guys are. I saw a couple great plays. That Flat guy, he might be my favorite of the four, and I came in loving Drew Phillips the most. Flat is phenomenal. Okay, and I'm so fed up with Giants fans who, I guess, for the views, for the rage bait or whatever, people want to hear mad rants. I ain't about that. I'm a fucking New York Giants fan, and that's it. And anybody that's got anything negative to say or bad mouthing or expect to lose, go find another team and bring that shit there, because I'm tired of the fucking cancerous behavior, because Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, gone, and you want to start getting rid of people now that can be that for us. And the Giants are kind of like my family, or like my best friend. Sometimes it can be a little tumultuous. Sometimes it's an abusive relationship. It can be, but they're the type of friend or family member that they kill somebody and you help them hide the body. Okay, I can be your alibi. When Plexico Burris shot himself in that club, I was there in court that day as a witness, saying he didn't do it. Two masked men came in and tried robbing him. And when the prosecutor said, "Well, weren't you 16 years old and living in Muskegon?" Objection! Argumentative. Don't say anything bad about my Giants. And if you're there's nothing embarrassing about that game besides the amount of penalties, but some of them are ticky tacky. That James Hudson guy, he came from Cleveland. Okay, let him shower some of that Cleveland off him. We'll get him right. That was a fucking terrible look to have 4 penalties in a row on one drive. Never been done before, like in 100 years or some shit. Giants are going to win this game outright. The Giants are back.
I love that. I love that so much. I'm going to treasure that rant forever. You come up for air. Chiefs are going to win.
I did write one more little note, because I did have. I want some things to be remembered, and a lot of times I forget what I'm going to say. I also want the rest of the NFL, the rest of football fans in the world to say thank you, because after Sunday night, what the Giants do to the Kansas City Chiefs, I think a lot of the Swifties are going to start going back to where they came from. Go back to Swift concerts. You should be going to Kelly Clarkson concerts anyway. She's way better. But we're going to bring football back to the fans, and that's the Giants doing that. We're going to end the Travis Kelce Swift era in the NFL. Book it. You're welcome. Thank you, Giants.
That is my friend, Captain Pastrami's not too passionate feelings about Sunday Night Football. That's an all-timer. I got to give you your flowers. And we're going to end before we lock into our Fab 5 / mustard pick / whatever we want to call them this week. We have Monday Night Football. We have the Detroit Lions at the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are 4.5-point favorites, minus 225 money line. Captain Pastrami, ride the high, the pure, let the rage flow through you. How are you feeling about this?
I'll make this one short and sweet because I've rambled a lot in this episode. I told
the rambles are we
short and sweet. People are tired of listening to me stumble and whatever. I told everybody yesterday that if the Giants, see, I love the Giants. They're always on my mind. If the Lions can beat the Ravens in Baltimore, I will take back what I said, and I will believe in them, and they will be a contender because I don't think losing uh, Glasgow or Ragnar, whichever one, the rhyming names that retired, is enough to like make them not a contender if they were last year. So I'm taking Ravens at home, but I'm willing to admit I was wrong if the Lions beat them.
Okay, fair. I'm taking the Ravens at home as well. And just so we can start, because this is going to be a clean little segue, I can already see what's going to happen. I will be taking Ravens at covering the 4.5 points. Let's start writing it down right on now. There's going to be a silly Dan Campbell emotional decision going for it on like 4th and 8 or something.
Did we just switch places?
And,
is this trading places?
It's gonna.
And I'm Dan Aykroyd, you're Eddie Murphy, or whatever.
It's gonna cost him the game. I'm going Baltimore Ravens both to win outright, but as part of the Fab Five, which we'll recap here in a second, I'm gonna be taking Ravens the 4.5. And is this how we end our show, Mr. Pastrami? Are we gonna go through?
Yeah, go ahead. I already pretty much said most of mine, and I know what they are. So if you want to go through yours, while I write these down.
So I am. Hang on. I gotta cover 3, 4, 5. Oh wow. Oh golly, there's a lot of them. Okay. Okay. Sweet. We're here. Ready? And we'll edit out me humming and hawing, right? I am taking the Atlanta Falcons -5.5. I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts -4.5. You got that?
Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I'll fucking kill
Who are you? Where am I?
I took Falcons 5.5. I took Colts 4.5.
I was writing in my mind because we had the same one. What was it? Falcons are 5.5.
Falcons 5.5.
Colts
4.5. I'm going LA Chargers 2.5. I'm taking Dallas Cowboys 1.5.
That's 5. Don't give me 6 again, you fucking freak.
That's it. I tapped. I wanted a different one. I was gonna sub out the Ravens, but no, I gotta own it.
Do you want to sub the Ravens out?
I was gonna.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Can I sub the Ravens out for the Seahawks -7? You sold me. You sold me on Dick Hammer.
Yeah, next week you're gonna forget who he was again and say, "Oh, Seahawks versus." Nothing cool about this game.
So those are mine. And what we should do is you should, after you have yours, you should ramble all of them off so that we can just boom throw them up.
So yeah, I'm doing Dallas -1.5. I'm taking Falcons -5.5. I'm taking Jags -1.5. So I have Dallas Chargers -2.5, Hawks -7, Atlanta -5.5, Jags -1.5.
And then what do I have? Recap?
You have Hawks -7, Atlanta -5.5, Colts -4.5, Chargers and Dallas. So our only different one
I took Colts.
Is Colts, yeah. And Jags.
Done.
We both have Dallas, Atlanta, and Seahawks. And you have Colts and Chargers.
There we go. I love it. Those are our locks right up there. We'll throw them up there. Anything else you want to end on?
Those are the first mustard locks. 5-0. The pastrami told you so. And he didn't come prepared with a dad joke.
That's okay. But, there's no reason to joke because it's Thursday, and by probably 24 hours from now, Mike Big Daniel might be texting us to be part of the show because his schedule's about to.
That's a good idea. We'll get
until next time. I'm Brandon. This is Captain Pastrami, previously known as Zach.
No, that's
Jive Sports. Signing off.